Hello and welcome to Tucson, Arizona. I am Randy.
I'm Nick.
So I got a sad one. This is why. So we're doing a video or two, and then we'll get into some Pokemon unboxing for people. Man, it's really dark.
Do you have other lights?
I do. Might just have to move the camera a little closer. But
Yeah.
anyway, so woke up Friday morning and my foot was just like on fire. Couldn't move. Like, didn't hurt myself.
Like,
None of that.
what kind of on fire?
Like a small goblin had a red hot knife and was just stabbing into my
Okay.
bone. And so I'm like, what the hell? Couldn't figure it out. Have no idea. And so I went through the day, went to the mountain. So that sucked. It's like I barely move. Halfway through the day, I'm done. I'm going home. So came home early, sent out an email. Was like, I'm going home. Get home, chill, just come out here and just set for the rest of the day, messing with the 3D printer and stuff. And yesterday woke up because we had family breakfast. So, which doesn't start till 8. So normally I don't get up till like 6:45, 7, get dressed, get ready. We go to church, have breakfast, whatever. And I wake up at like just before 5.
Oof.
I'm not normally, and I slept not well all night. Every movement killed me. So I wake up at like 4:50 and I'm like, I got to get Advil. Like I'm dying. I'm so inflamed. It's unreal.
That sucks.
Go out. My wife's already awake doing things because she's an early riser. And she's like, what are you doing up? And I was like, my foot is killing me. Like I need to get Advil. And then I'm looking at it. I was like, I need to go all day Friday. She was like, we need to go to ER. We need to go. And I was like, no, we'll be good. Like,
Yeah.
it'll pass.
You're a man. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you.
So, because she's never taken me to the hospital. I've been hit by a car. Like I've had,
Yeah.
I don't really get sick often. So it's pretty rare. And I don't never go to the doctor. So I was like, hey, we need to go. And she was like, yeah, okay. If you're saying we need to go, we need to go. So we get loaded up, and I've taken her. I feel like I sound kind of weird. So I've taken her to this one ER that is just freaking awesome a couple of times. So we go there, and it's clear across town. So we get there, but it's early, so like there's no traffic. Get there, check in, and they're like, what's going on? I was like, oh, my foot's messed up. Like, I don't know, like, but it's the first metatarsal.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like I feel like I've got something broke or turf toe or something. And she was like, first metatarsal. I was like, yeah, like I'm not an idiot. Like I do know what a lot of the bones are in the body. Like I study human health. Like I know some.
Yeah, it's one of your phalanges.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
So they bring me back, they scale me, and I'm like, damn, I'm down like 10 pounds. This sucks. So we go back and they sit me down and they ask the question I've always wanted to be asked, but I knew no one was ever going to ask me. And she goes, is everything okay? Did anything happen? Do you feel safe at home? And I was like, yeah, I'm in an okay neighborhood. Is where my mind went. And then I was like, oh, she's asking me if I'm safe at home. And I did this. I was like, yeah. And she looks at me all weird. I was like, I've been dying to get asked that question for years. I don't go to the doctor, so no one ever gets a chance to ask me. I was like, it took me a minute to understand what you were asking me. I was like, yeah, I'm safe. And she's like, hey, this is serious life or death stuff. I was like, no, I respect that.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to be asked. And no one ever asked me because my wife is half my size.
Yeah.
No one ever gonna ask that. So I go back, they're checking stuff out, and they let her come in, and I have to take off my shoes. I'm just wearing slides, so I take off my socks and my slides. I'm laying in the bed, and my foot, dude, is just like my right foot is like 50% fatter than my left foot.
Oh, I hate that.
And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong, but it freaking hurts. And my wife was convinced that she knew what it was. And I kept saying, no, it can't be that.
What did you think it was?
My diet is good. Like, I don't really eat much junk. I have one soda a day, if that. And I mean a can, not an American-sized thirst buster. Like, I have a can of Dr. Pepper with dinner sometimes.
1 2-liter.
So yeah, like I don't really drink a lot of soda anymore. I drink coffee in the morning and then water all day, and I drink like electrolytes and additives and things throughout the day. But I don't really eat a lot of junk food. You know, I eat a pretty balanced diet. So I'm like, I don't like, and I pay attention to macros and things. I eat a lot of protein, but I eat a lot of carbs and salads. Like, I balance everything. And my wife was convinced it's gout.
Okay.
And I was like, there's no way it's gout. Like, my diet's dope. Like, it's not gout. And she's like, it's the King's disease. You know, I was like, she kept calling me Your Highness and shit. So doctor comes in, and the first thing he asks me, are you on a carnivore diet? And I was like, no. And I'm wearing a Shaw Classic hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Understandable question.
yeah. So he was like, are you on a carnivore diet? And I was like, no, I eat a pretty balanced diet. Like, I'm all about nutrition. He goes, do you lift? I was like, I do. Like, I'm about that lifestyle. And he was like, okay. And then he looks down at my foot and he goes, and he starts touching things. And then he hits one spot. And dude, I almost Tom and Jerry to the ceiling. And I'm talking and we're talking. And he's like, so, you know, what's going on here? And I was like, that's where it's at, man. Like, that's the spot. And he goes, yeah, you got gout.
Oh.
And I was like, how?
Yeah.
How do I have gout? And he goes, gout. He goes, it's crystals growing on the joint, and your white blood cells are attacking the crystals, and that's what all the inflammation is. The problem is your white blood cells can't kill the crystals.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I don't eat like a weirdo. And he's like, no. He goes, common misconception. You get gout from protein. Your body is processing protein. He goes, if you injured your foot, I was like, yeah, dude, I've injured my foot a couple of times. Like, I live a pretty active lifestyle and I have a very active job.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've cranked my foot. Like, I've hurt my foot. And he's like, yeah, you probably injured your foot. You eat a lot of protein, I'm assuming. I'm like, yeah, like, I eat quite a bit of protein. And he's like, yeah, your body was trying to process protein and your uric acids
Settled in your foot where it was broken.
and then just went down. I'm like, I feel like such a punk. Like, I gout, like, that's what's taking me down. Like, and then everyone's like, oh, you change your diet. I'm like, first off, you don't know what causes it. It's red meat and fish. Like, those are the two, like, I mean, game meat is the number one. Like, if you're eating like kidneys and livers and things.
Yeah.
And we eat chicken liver, just not often enough for that
Yeah.
to be the cause. And otherwise I don't eat beef liver. Like, I'm not the liver king. I'm not about that.
Yeah, I don't.
So, but I eat balance. I was like, dude, I run on carbs. Like, carbs are definitely my number one source of fuel, just like 90% of people. But I do eat, like, I eat beef jerky throughout the day to keep my protein up, stuff like that, especially when I'm able to hit the gym a lot. And he's like, yeah, he goes, it's a one-off. He goes, I bet this never happens to you again. He goes, it's never happened before. I was like, no. And he's like, yeah. So then, but the first thing my dad and stepmom said was like, I wasn't there, but my wife went back to the church after she dropped me off yesterday. Cause I was like, I ain't walking. I ain't going with you. I'm going home.
I was wondering why you were limping when I walked in.
Yeah. So dude, they gave me this shot and he comes in and he goes, so we're talking for a while. Doctor's awesome. He's actually, so we talked a lot. I was there for a couple of hours and the three of us wound up talking for like well over an hour. Most of it just chit chat.
Yeah.
He found out that she sells wine. He loves wine. We talked a lot about wine. And he goes, I see you don't have a primary care. I was like, nah, man, I did. I was like, and then when all the COVID stuff happened, I didn't like the way their office was handling it. So I stopped going. And he was like, where were you going? I was like, oh, Men's Vitality. I'm on TRT. I was like, so I was, I'd go in there, get my shots, get my meds, whatever, and then get my blood drawn quarterly. Like, I was doing the normal things. I was like, but the guy he clearly didn't know enough.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, I was more studied than he was. He didn't have good information. And I'm very open about this. I think all men should get their blood work done. So I was like, I didn't like the way they handled it. I was like, but my next appointment that I've got set up, I just need to go through and get my blood done is I'm going to go to Dr. Comstock. And he goes, just does that. And I was like, what's that? And he was like, well, I know him. He goes, I was his partner for like 30 years.
That's cool.
So they were partners together. years back. He goes, I've known him like 40 years. Like me and Comstock. He goes, me and Frank go back. And I was like, nice. I was like, because I got a lot of friends that go there and say that dude's the man. He goes, yeah, no, he's awesome. He's like, that dude knows his stuff, and he does not need to work. He's doing it because he wants to. Like he's doing it for fun.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? He goes, he's loaded. He goes, first off, our practice was really good when we sold off our practice and when we stopped being partners. He goes, we didn't stop being partners for any other reason than to just kind of sell the business and stop doing what we're doing. He goes, but he had started a company and sold it to Nestle
Oh, dang.
for like FU money.
Buku.
And then started this practice just because it was something he was passionate about, was taking care of men's health. So I was like, dude, nice. But then we're just chit chatting, and he goes, yeah, I'm going to put you on, you know, this really awesome NSAID. It's really strong. It's like, it's, you know, it's the beefiest one. I was like, cool. And he goes, and I'm going to put you on steroids. And then he looks at, and then he realizes who he's talking to, and he goes, not anabolic. And I was like,
Dang
yeah,
it.
I was like, bro, I got that at home. I'm good. I was like, remember, I'm on TRT. And he goes, all right. He goes, yeah, I'm going to put you on these steroids to help attack all that and heal it up. And then like painkiller so I can like sleep. He's like, how you been sleeping? And my wife goes, he hasn't. And I was like, yeah, dude, every little movement is like murder. So I came home, took half of just a little 2.5 milligram of Oxy and on the couch and just lay down, watch some TV and out.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Like had my leg elevated, slept good for like 2.5 hours, and then woke up and had fish.
Exactly what you should have done. Bro, you know everything going on in my life. Not last night, but the night before was like, so I know a lot of people don't know exactly what happened with my dad.
No one does, dude. We've referenced it a couple
yes.
of times,
So-
and then I laugh hysterically.
He's in prison. He's done a lot of bad things, and if you want, you can look it up. But I have had to deal with a ton of his life
You've had to handle all of his life, dude.
while he was in. So
He's
Matt
a good
Manili
son.
asked me a question, and without getting into too much of it, he's just like, "Do you think it's something your dad would ever do again?" Because he was actually like interested in talking, and like he's like, "Dude, you okay?" And like he called me yesterday, and he could tell I was not like
You weren't quite.
rested, and I wasn't in a great mood. So he was just like, "Dude, you good? Like what?" Or sorry, he called me the day before that, and I was already like tripping, just because it's
It's a lot,
4 days away.
dude. I knew it was close.
Yeah, it's 4 days away. So it was like it's starting to hit me.
yeah.
And so-
Reality is really getting you.
And so he asked me a couple questions, and he's like, "How do you think you'd ever do it again?" And dude, I could not sleep at all 2 nights ago. Like I bet you I got less than 2 hours of sleep all night.
Off that question.
Yep. 2:15 in the morning, is when I looked at the clock. I was already up. I went in, peed out of nowhere because I'm an old man.
You're getting old.
And I
Old
like,
guys pee.
I walked in. I sat on the edge of the bed, and I was like,
I thought you were gonna say sit on the edge of the toilet.
sat on the edge of the bed.
Sorry.
And I was like, dude, this is fucking me up. Like, I don't know. And I'll talk more about it with you later.
Yeah.
But like, I was just like, I don't know. But if anything I'm doing ever, like, and I'm gonna say the word assist, but that's not the right word. If it ever made it so that's possible,
Okay, yeah. If it
I would
somehow
lo-
facilitated the
I would
ability.
lose my shit. And I was like, so dude,
Rightfully
I
so.
could not sleep yesterday, bro. I went to bed
I
last
respect
night
that.
like this. I was like at like 7. I was so tired. I was like, can't even stay awake anymore. Thank God, or else I wouldn't have slept last night.
I
So,
get that.
The sleeping thing sucks.
Yeah, no, the sleeping thing sucks for sure.
The shot he gave you though for gout. I'm sorry, that was a really random tangent, but the shot he gave you for gout, was it in your foot?
No. Thank
Oh,
God.
thank God.
Thank
Okay.
God. No, I was like, he came in and he goes, like he'd already like decided that was gonna do, waiting on X-rays, and because he's like, I just want to make sure that's that's the only problem. So ordered X-rays, and so he comes back in a little while later, and partially to talk to me about that, and then partially to like talk more about wine, and like, hey man, I get it, I'm that guy too.
Yeah, you find something you like.
Yeah, when you're like, hey man, someone knows some stuff about what I like, I'm gonna go talk. And he was super cool, dude. Like, I like him a lot. Everyone over there is awesome. So he comes in and he's like, hey, he goes, I'm going to give you the awesome NSAID, which I freaking love. NSAIDs, like, they're the best. I don't really do pain meds often.
I can't.
Like, well, my thing is I like them, and I know that, and I've got a history with that. Like, I mean, I was never like hooked and couldn't have a job or anything, but I know I like them.
Yeah.
So I practice like a lot of self-control. Like, every time I do like dental work or have something broken and I get them, dude, I set on them like I still have some from 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I never turn them down if a doctor offers them, because that's something that if something goes down at home
Yeah.
and someone in my family needs something now,
yeah.
I have it on hand.
I still have them from my last surgery, which
Yeah, it
was
was a while ago.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think I have 24 of 30. Something.
That's
in
kind
that
of
range.
It's kind of what I do. I take a couple when the pain is actually bad enough, and then the rest just go into storage.
My problem is a little different than yours, though, because I never took them like recreationally.
Yeah, so you don't have that
I
tolerance.
have zero tolerance. I take something that they're like, oh, it's tramadol. Like, this is a baby medication.
Yeah, my
and
wife
I'm
likes
like,
Tramadol. Yeah.
like I can't do. Anyway, sorry.
That's the same thing my wife does with tramadol. Like, when she had her foot surgery a couple years ago, that's what they gave her. Dude, it put her down.
Yeah, that's
like
what it
a
does to
like
me.
a freaking buffalo gun, dude. Just boom, and she's like,
and I feel dumb for like 2 or 3 hours after it should be out of your system.
all that grogginess.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm just out. But anyway, sorry.
No, you're good, bro. That's what this is all about. It's all about just chit chatting. So he comes in and he goes, hey, he goes, I'm gonna give you pain meds to help you sleep, the NSAID and the thing of steroids. He goes, but I got a shot I can give you to immediately relieve the pain now. And I was like, bro, I don't. It's like 6:30 in the morning, my friend. I don't want to be stupid the rest of the day. Like, I don't like. I like maintaining my faculties. I don't want that. And he was like, no. It's not a narcotic. I was like, oh, because my wife
Sold.
goes, am I gonna have to carry him anywhere? I'm 240 pounds, so
So we're just gonna strap you to this dolly.
pretty much. Yay! Come here. Give me a kiss.
Sorry. Had
Thank
to
you.
interrupt. I paid it off. Oh,
Hell yeah, dog.
I paid it off early.
That's my Harley title, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, baby.
Oh, and the IRS paper came too.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Doesn't sound good.
I don't know if you're supposed to show
Remember
that.
when I owed them a bunch of money like 3 years ago?
Oh,
they
yeah.
took the rest of it. So I'm done now.
Yes.
So we don't get any tax return then?
Not that. They took 584 from our state.
That's why my state was so small.
That makes sense. Hey, it's done though.
Hey,
Hi,
yeah, it's
everybody.
done. Hey,
So
hey!
I had to bring that in. Okay.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
I don't
We've been so worried about this.
because it hadn't showed up.
Yeah, because we paid it off 2 weeks ago.
Oh damn. Yeah,
So-
no, that's actually pretty normal.
I know. I
Okay.
hadn't heard anything,
Gotcha.
and so she's asked. Oh, hold on. What's up, Burbs? You want out?
No,
Outside, Burby? Come here.
dude, I don't think I've ever paid off a car and got the title back, or not ever. I don't think I have in like years because I've always had loans or I traded it in. You know, like I had the title for my dad's car when I paid it off. I don't know. I've had a couple. Anyway, so immediately relieve
So he
pain.
goes, it'll immediately relieve pain. And my wife was like, do I have to carry him anywhere? And he's like, no, it's not like that. I was like, oh, thank God. I said, then yeah, dude, hit me with it. And he was like, it's going to hurt. And I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm already in pain, dude. Like, I can feel my heart beating in my foot.
Yeah.
So he goes, all right, cool. I'll send her in. A few minutes later, nurse comes in, and it's the same nurse that took my initial questioning when I was like, yeah, I literally did that. That's not a joke. Are you safe at home? Little hamster turning, and then just excitement. And she didn't appreciate my excitement for that question.
Yeah.
She was like, well, this is
most people don't
serious. And I'm
find
like, not for me, it's not. You can be serious for the next homie that rolls through. For me, it's not. If I was like in danger from my wife, I would just be in a hole. Like, she's not going to play around with me and
Yeah.
slowly break my feet. She's just going to end me. So so she comes in, she's like, all right, this is what I'm giving you. And I don't remember what it's called, but it's like it's like the Hercules of NSAIDs. And it's for arthritis because that's basically what gout is arthritic condition. So, so she's like, okay, it's going to hurt. Take off your hoodie. And like, I'm okay with shots. I mean, they suck. No one likes them, but
you know me.
yeah,
I don't like
but
shots.
I was expecting it to be an IV type of shot. And those I don't like.
Yeah.
Because they hurt. Like it's uncomfortable the rest of the day. I don't like it. But then she rolls up my sleeve and I was like, oh yeah, dude, get it. Like she goes, relax. Cause the more tense your muscle is, the more it's going to hurt. And I was like, damn it.
Long ass needle.
Well, the problem is I have no body fat here. My shoulders are just muscle.
Dude,
So, and my wife yells at me all the time because she gives me a shot in the back of the arm and she goes, relax. I'm like, I am like my arms are kind of small right now because I don't do a whole lot of biceps because curls are kind of fucking stupid, really. But I do a lot of shoulder work, but I do a lot of tricep work. So my triceps are very just solid. She goes, relax. I'm like, I am. So they always hurt. So I was like, oh, this is going to suck. It's not a very big needle.
Gotcha.
And the needle didn't hurt. The problem is the chemical burns.
Oh yeah.
And it burns everybody. So I've
had those.
I'm looking, my wife says something. So I look over at her and she's like, does it hurt? And I was like, no, like I didn't even notice the needle. And then I just started feeling just burn spread like a forest fire through my arm. And I was like, yeah, it stings a bit. Like, and then like she was done forever. Like it was a quick shot.
Yeah. But
And I was just like, ooh.
Dude, whatever they gave me for the bite, the rattlesnake bite. That whatever they gave me a shot when I first got in before they did an IV anything.
Yeah.
They gave me some weird shot. And I honestly can't even tell you if it's normal. Like anybody else I've heard of had never said that. And I didn't even think about it until you said it because we went through the whole story.
Yeah.
But they did the same thing. They gave me a shot when I first got there and it just burned. Like it, you felt it spread too. And as it spread, if it was at 100%, like the first 5 seconds, then if slowly for me, it was like 99, 98, 97. But it burned more and more spots. So by the time it got to like the out extremities of where it stopped burning, it wasn't burning as bad everywhere. But it did the same thing. And I don't know if that's normal.
Yeah. That's why I said wildfire.
Yep.
Like you just, it only hit my like entire cap.
Oh,
like
okay.
it didn't really go any
mine
farther
was
than
like
that.
part of my body.
Yeah. Ugh, nasty, dude. But yeah, so got freaking gout. Doctor came back in. We BS'd with him for a long time again. I was able to watch some of the Premier League game that was going on yesterday because I like football. So we hang out with him for a while, BS and stuff. And he saw my wines and just, I don't know, just fun stuff. Like, cool dude.
Yeah.
So then we take off and go to check on my meds. The freaking pharmacist doesn't get there for like another 40 minutes. So my wife dropped me off at home and continued about her day. And so I just post up and chill. Started playing some more Red Dead 2 and then started getting kind of drowsy just because I hadn't slept well. Mm-hmm. So then took a little nap. She came home with my meds, started taking meds, took another little nap, and then came out and started making all these guys. So hopefully on the camera, these come up pretty clear, but they're weight plates that I found that I slowly started editing, and I'm going to start handing these out. So I'm going to start handing those out to people. So I'm going to print a ton of these smaller ones. Mm-hmm. That's the wrong one. But it says the same thing, but it's this big and not this big. So I'm going to get a fanny pack, and I'm going to try to make like 200 of those.
And just hand them out.
So when I go to Shaw Classic, every time I'm talking to someone, I'm just going to here. And then I found, so last year, if any of you guys have watched it, I've done a handful of shorts on the YouTube channel, and because I haven't posted them on Rumble yet, because my Rumble logo is also Tucson, Arizona, but it's Tucson _ and my logo is a weight plate with Tucson, Arizona in it. I just haven't figured out how to edit that onto my channel here. And I've got a friend that's supposed to be designing me a logo and a big backdrop for the main screen, but that's what she does for a living. She owns her own business and she's super busy. So someday I'll get some graphics for the page. But last year I took and gave a bunch of the guys little Lego figures, minifigs that looked like them. So this year I found someone, God bless you, whoever did this, designed little garden gnomes that look like other things.
So you're gonna do Shaw Classic.
So I'm gonna do there's a Mega Man garden gnome. So he's got the booster freaking
it.
gun and in the helmet. But I found the first one I found, he's supposed to be the Hulk. So you can print them green and purple to look like the Hulk. I'm just gonna print them like a flesh color, and then if you can't, depending on how many multicolors I can do, I'll probably just do like blue jeans, black hair for the dudes that have their black hair, and then just like flesh tone. And then I found some other ones. I found one because there's Evan T-Rex Singleton, if you're a fan of this strongman sport like I am. And I've met all these guys before several times now. So there's a dude, little guy wearing a T-Rex costume. Like his face is still in it with his beard and everything. He's wearing a big T-Rex outfit. So there's a handful of these that I found now that kind of work for some of the guys.
That's cool.
So I'm gonna start printing up those guys for the Shaw Classic, and I'll probably give them each one of these. But I also just I'm gonna order just a bulk thing of the little cheap key rings, and I'm gonna turn them because that's why they got the tab is for a keychain. And I almost edited off of these because you can remove it. Like you don't have to print it with that. But I figured these would be kind of cool hanging somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'll probably hang one of the big ones off of my backpack as I'm walking around the Classic. But yeah, I'm just gonna start handing those out, and then I want to just hand them out to like people I know and random people I meet to start like promoting the channel.
Dump them out of a airplane. Everything.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm a carpet bomb. So I'm gonna find. So my OG follower on here, I'm gonna get a hold of him, see if he can go over and follow me on Instagram, so I can DM him because I want to send him one of these. It's like a thank you for hanging out and being like the first dude that like comments and
he seems pretty nice actually. I've read his stuff and I'm like, yeah, at least he.
and he's got his own channel.
Yeah.
So I just want to show him some love and be like, hey man, thanks for hanging out. So I want to get a hold of him, and so if you're on here, bro, follow me, Randy Ross on Instagram. You'll find me on there. It's open. I don't have it privatized. You'll see me, and then DM me, dude. I want to send you one of these guys just for hanging out. I appreciate you.
I want to jump back to something real quick because I didn't want to interrupt it, but Comstock.
Yeah.
Okay. So, again, I went through school. I had to do a whole bunch of dumb research. I say dumb research. I know it's there for a reason, but a lot of it is just busy work so that you learn how to do something. It's like math. The skills you learn in math are what you're learning. You're not... You don't need a lot of math, but how you overcome the problem and how you have to look around it is repetitive, and so it teaches you skills that you use other places, even though it's not math. So I understand all that, but it was boring research. And one of the things I researched was healthcare, because during the COVID stuff...
You mean Badacath care?
Yes.
Shunanama Shabbat pressure? That stuff?
But, yes. No, but... During the healthcare, there was a lot of places talking about getting rid of insurances. They don't use them anymore. Like, that's cool. You have insurance. I'm just going to charge you what I charge you. It's cash or card or whatever. If you don't want to pay it, you can go somewhere that takes insurance. Comstock does that. Mm-hmm. He has done that for 10 plus years now.
Yeah, a little over 10 years. Yeah.
But zero. He still charges. He charges more than what other places would be with insurance sometimes. But some insurances, it's less. So he's like in the middle, and he makes a ton of money. Now, I'm not saying this is him, but when I was reading research for why they were doing that, because that's what I was talking about, I found out that Comstock, and I'm assuming it's the same one, they just said Dr. Comstock. They didn't say where, they didn't say anything else, has been doing it for 10 plus years, and so now it'd be 13, 14 years. Mm-hmm. And his profit model is almost 180% or something of somebody else, and his charges are about 75% of what a normal doctor charges total. So again, his charges, no insurance with charges, he's bringing home all of that money. There's zero insurance, so he's making 25% less for his business, but he's bringing home all of it, especially considering about 8% doesn't get paid out when you're talking insurances, because insurance doesn't, or customer doesn't, or something like that. So he's actually more profitable.
Yep.
Because he's not giving...
And he doesn't have to pay to deal with the insurance companies.
So he was way more profitable, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I'm assuming it's the same person.
It is.
And
That's him. That's how he does it. So
I
they
know
also,
he does. I just in reference to what I was reading, I didn't know if there happens to be another one, but
That's
I'm
him.
pretty sure I was like, yeah, that's
his
pretty cool.
his wife has her own, but she doesn't go by Comstock. She had her own practice, but she sold it. Dude, he's from a very successful family.
Oh, yeah.
His brother is equally successful. They both played, and this is all stuff I learned from talking to this doctor. Because he was a trauma medic for like 20 years or something, before in the emergency room before going out and starting his own practice with this dude.
Okay.
And then eventually selling that practice and doing something else. His wife also is because he was a trauma surgeon. She was something else in the medical field, really high level, owned her own thing forever, just sold her practice a few years ago. His brother is still like a high-end surgeon. I think he's a NICU surgeon.
Okay.
And then his wife also does something, and then like their sister does something, and the brother-in-law owns a practice. Like it's just a bunch of, and their dad was a family practitioner.
Jeez.
So like it's just a big family of doctors.
Just a big family of success.
Yeah, bro, like stupid money. He was
It would
telling
be
me
very easy to be the black sheep. They're like, oh, you're just a dermatologist.
now imagine being like a psychiatrist.
Oh.
Going by the title doctor
Yeah.
when you don't actually have a doctorate. Yeah, dude.
What movie is that? Hangover? He's not a real doctor. He's a dentist.
Well, no, and I think of 2.5 Men because he's
Oh,
a psychiatrist.
Yep.
He's like doctor. He goes, he's not a doctor. Oh, jeez. But yeah, bro. So I got gout.
I'm sorry.
It's so stupid. What's weird is like I don't eat junk, and it's like yeah, you can eat all the junk in the world and not get gout. It's
Yep.
eating the protein and
Well-
stuff like that gets you. And I'm like, damn it, the thing that gives me energy and strength and mass is the same thing jacking me up. He was like, dude, you probably injured yourself, and it's just a compounding situation. I'm like,
Well,
stupid.
it,
I wish it was broken.
no, you don't.
But yeah, dude. So that shot, like 3 hours. Within 3 hours, I was actually able to like kind of walk
That's cool.
without, like, just getting out of the truck. Like when we got there, because obviously I'm passenger, getting out, just letting my foot hang before I step down with my left foot to not put all my pressure. Because if I put any weight on the ball of my foot,
Yeah.
dude, like, yeah, just sheer agony. So just swinging my foot out and letting it hang, all that blood pressure, it just whoomp, whoomp, whoomp. I just feel my heart, dude, just letting my foot hang. So a few hours later, I'm like, and my wife, I came out here a couple of times. I'd come out here and sit down for like an hour or two, edit things, adjust things, mess with CAD, and then go back in. And she was like, wow, you're walking quite a bit more than you would have been. I was like, yeah, like it's still uncomfortable. Like there's still discomfort.
Yeah, but you walk
But
on the
it's-
side of your foot or something.
Yeah, but it's not like, but before, dude, I was trying to lift my foot and basically walk like I had just the heel.
Yeah, the dead leg
Yeah,
almost.
bro,
Yeah.
like
you
it's,
can't lean
yeah,
forward.
that's exactly how I was. So yeah, it was miserable.
Dude, when I broke my leg,
Yeah.
so broke my leg. I worked on it for 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. You were still spraying out those trailers.
Yeah,
The truck trailers.
Yep. I worked for a carpet cleaning company who, oddly enough, got a contract to pressure wash all of the Pepsi trucks. The rails for them had never been cleaned, I
So
guess.
the 53-foot truck trailers.
Yep. So all the doors are open. We would have to open the doors, get inside, and then close them and spray degreaser and spray them out and stuff. And stepping out hurt my foot. Thought I sprained it. 4 weeks I worked on it, and then I went in and the doctor x-rayed it, and my foot was sitting like this, barely sitting on itself. And what I had to walk like that forever. That's what brought it up. Now, what fixed it was not the doctor replacing it or putting it back into place and putting pins in it like they said it was going to happen. I worked. That was on a Friday. I had surgery Monday. They scheduled it that close, so I had Saturday, Sunday, and I was like, "Well, I'm a broke kid. I can't afford not to work." So I worked Saturday and Sunday. We, again, carpet cleaning company, but we did a lot of other stuff. We stripped and waxed Carondelet.
Yep.
And while we're there, holding one of the buffers, I've only got one leg. I'm hopping around. Drop, like the buffer gets away from me. It drops. It goes around once. I jump. I make it over the first time. I land. I tried to jump the second time. Did not make it over. Hit me in my leg. That was broken. I laid there on the floor, crying like a baby. I don't remember if I cried, but I probably did.
Probably.
For a while, and the buffer's just still going, burp, 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 because I'm like underneath it. So the other guy came, pulled it out. He's like, "Oh, you all right?" I was like, "Oh, dude, I gotta sit for a little bit. Like, this is not good." Went back in and X-rayed, and it was perfectly fine. But I had to limp on it, real weird for a long time. So
Yep. Yeah, I've damaged so much of my body, but that's the thing though. Like I damaged my foot a while ago, and it's been killing me. And I think that's where some of this got started. Just all that nasty inflammation.
So, pain meds. Jackie had her
Oh yeah, when she had her stuff.
not tonsils,
Thyroid.
thyroid removed. So, when I had to take her to her thyroid appointment to get them removed, they were like, "Oh, hey, you take this pill," and I really wish I would have known the name of it, dude. That pill, whatever it was because I've seen her knocked out. Like she's a lot like me. Like she takes pain meds and she's a little loopy, but she knows what she's doing. No, they literally said take it 10 minutes, 15 minutes before
You're
get here.
peaking.
So exactly, I'll tell that story. But they were like, take this pill 10, 15 minutes before you get here. Surgery will be about a half hour after that. You will be out. And she's like, okay, do I need someone to drive me? And they said, yes. And she was like, okay. So I was like, yeah, I'll drive. She takes it and she's like, maybe. She's like, oh, I can drive there. That way you don't have to drive. I was like, no, like, I'll drive. So it's a 10-minute drive, 12-minute drive. We get about halfway there, and she is stooped over in the car, looking out, like just looking like everything's amazing. She's one of those videos of the kids who can't see, and then they put the glasses on them for the first time, and they can see. That's what she was. Dude, everything was just so amazing and vibrant and colorful. Like she was happy-go-lucky.
The world is brand new.
Like I have never seen a downer
Make you
that happy. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, she's like out of control happy, and it was fantastic. I loved that she was like that. So we got there, and then we got like to the we have to walk up, and she's like, yeah, they're like, oh, can I get your insurance card, your ID, blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah. And just stands there, and I'm like, I'll get it. Like I get it, give them the stuff. They have us walk back to this room. They have me set her down, and then I set her purse down and her stuff on a chair, and I'm sitting in the other chair, and she's on this thing, and I have to walk out of the room and be like, hey, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, do you have something I can prop her up with, because she is falling out of this chair with arms. Like I need your help here. And so they actually just came in and helped me like set her in it and leaned it back a little, because I'm not gonna mess with the chair. So they leaned it back a little, and she's just happy-go-lucky. They remove everything. I leave. They remove everything. I come back in, get her. She's in pain now. She needs pain meds. So we get her home, blah, blah. I take her back for her appointment 2 weeks later or whatever it was. And the first couple days, she's on the couch. Like, she's not moving. She's not doing nothing. So I'm helping her get everything ready, taking care of kids. It was pain. I take her back, and she's like, oh, do you know where it's at? And I was like, yeah. And so I'm driving there, and it's the same place. We pull in, and she's like, I've never been here. This is not my doctor. And I was like, this is your doctor. She's like, what? And I was like, you wanted to drive. Remember that. Like, you wanted to drive. And she's like, I had no idea I'd ever been here. Like, dude, whatever that drug was, and I'm not saying go take drugs, but that was like the weirdest, coolest drug I've ever seen anybody on, because I've never seen one make you happy like that. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's so awesome.
But it was like vibrant. Like she's like, oh my gosh, that color's so cool. Like I remember her. It was like had to be like vibrant, like your thing. Like you walk in, you're like, oh, this is bright orange. That's cool. But it was like she saw it for the first time, because we've seen orange hundreds of thousands of times.
She's like, what is that color? Yeah, dude, I was going through stuff, rearranging. I got to figure out like how to store all these filaments, and I forgot I had these.
Yeah.
So these are the Barrio.
Oh yeah.
This is the Citrazona. I know a lot of it's kind of covered, but it's the Arizona flag. It's a local brewery, Barrio Brewing. So if you're from Tucson, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, the Citrazona, and I was like, oh man, I forgot I had this. I got another one. But back when my wife used to sell beer instead of wine, we'd go to these events and they'd give us these to drape over a table and then put up swag that we were handing out. I have a ton of Barrio stuff, but I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, and I got tired of wiping down the table all the time, so I was like, I'll throw this on. Like, it's very vibrant, but like,
No,
yeah,
I
it's
like it.
Zona.
I didn't even realize it didn't say Arizona
Yeah,
until
it's
you
just
said it just right
Citrazona.
now. So the
It's
story.
a citrus IPA.
I know you've heard it, but I'll
Yeah.
go through it real quick. So,
It's one of my favorites.
my wife talks in her sleep. She has ever since I met her, and it's not very often. But she'll wake up and like she also does weird things in her sleep. We fall asleep back when we were younger. You know, there's no kids or nothing in the house, but we'd fall asleep and she'd sleep in joggers and underwear and like just a t-shirt, and she'd wake up and her underwear would be off in the middle of the night. She just took them off. No idea when. I didn't do it. But she would be like, Did we do anything like that? I'm like, no, we didn't do anything like that. She's like, oh, I don't remember. And not like we're drinking. She does it sober too. Like she does both. So, having said that, I am dead asleep one night.
This story's so
Just
great.
dead asleep. And out of nowhere, not only does she like sit up and talk in her sleep, apparently she also moves quite a bit, and she grabs me, and she's like halfway over top of me, and she grabs me and shakes me awake. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Like terrifying. I thought something bad was happening. And she looks at me and she's like, you were peeking. And like squinted eyes and everything, like so mad at me. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you were peeking. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This is out of nowhere. I have no idea what I was peeking on.
You were dead asleep.
I saw you, and she pokes me in the chest. I saw you. You were peeking. And I was like, what? She's like, at the scavenger hunt. And then she says it again. I saw you. You were peeking. And she lays down and falls asleep. And I was like, what in the heck just happened? Like Twilight Zone stuff. And I know I was not dreaming because I got up, I went to the bathroom, and it's like dead of the night. So I know I was awake, and I moved some stuff around. I sat up for a couple minutes, like, okay, cool, she's asleep. Like, that was some weird thing. And then I wake up in the morning, and I look over at her, and she's awake. She used to wake up a little bit before me, turn on the TV, you know, I'd slowly wake up. Look over at her, and I was like, you were peeking, and she's all, okay. Like, she had no idea that I was like, you don't remember last night? She's like, no. I was like, you were peeking. I had to tell her the story. So I still tell her that every now and then.
That was awesome, dude. When you told us that story on the way to, that's when we were still working up at Scottsdale, all those houses. Like 5:30 in the morning, you're like, I got a story.
It was so crazy. It was so funny.
You were peeking.
She's woken up and moved to and it's been a while. She actually hasn't like sleep talked in a while, but when we were in the old house right before we had Colton, so she was pregnant, she would get up, and I sleep on the same side of the bed unless we go somewhere. Sometimes I sleep on the opposite side, but I sleep on looking at the bed, the right hand side, laying in at the left hand side. It's been that way forever. Now it's really hard to fall asleep if I'm not. Like,
I always
so
just
routine.
wind up on the side that's close to the door.
That was normal, and that's how most of my bedrooms were. But now we've done it for so long, it's not that way anymore. She's actually closer to the door now, but it's
So
not.
at the foot of the bed, you sleep on the right.
If you're sitting,
If you're
in the
staring at the
bed,
bed,
yes, I sleep on the right.
Okay.
And so she's closer to the door
Close
now,
door, yeah.
but barely in our room. You know,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really bother me. But whatever, I'm used to doing it that way. She in our old bedroom, I was closer to the door.
Yep.
So our room, you'd walk straight in the door, and like you walked down my side of the bed. So
Yep.
our room was off to the left. She would get up, and she did it like 3 or 4 times when she was pregnant only. She would get up, walk around the bed, and push me over like I was on her side. And I was like, I don't even know if she remembers that because it's not something I really cared about because I just
Muscled
roll
you
over.
out?
But she just like muscle me over, and I don't know if she wanted to cuddle or what it was because I'd like roll back a little
I
bit.
wonder,
And then put my arm
what
around
do you
her.
think that she went to the bathroom, came back, and would just get into bed?
That might
like
be
mostly
possible.
asleep.
That might be possible.
Because I mean, pregnant women have to go to the bathroom a lot.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe she was barely awake enough to be functional, get to the bathroom, and because her brain's mostly off, would just get into bed.
Yeah, and that's possible. But she like
Only
she did a
because the
couple
bathroom
times.
was right there next to your side of the bed.
Yeah, it was. She did a lot of weird things. While she was,
My wife, I can tell when she's super exhausted because she will. I may have turned it down a little too much. Sorry, I keep messing with my controls on my side. Every once in a while, like we'll fall asleep on the couch. You know, we got the recliners and everything, so we'll be chilling, watching TV, and just get kind of tired, kind of early, and just lean back.
yeah,
Dude, last week, every day, every night of the week, we both fell asleep watching Alone. Every night, and wake up like, time to go to bed. But when she's really exhausted and she passes out like super early, like 7:30, 8 o'clock, randomly I'll just hear her say something, and I'll pause the TV, and she'll be talking to a client
in her
about
sleep.
wines in her
That's funny.
sleep. And she's been doing this for 2 years, so it's not like I don't know. I'm sure most people have experienced this. I do every time I've ever started a new job. The first like 2 months, you wind up dreaming about being at work.
Yeah, you're just that's where your brain's focus is at.
Yeah, and which says a lot because I've worked here so long that I don't ever dream about work.
I dream about fighting fires with you earlier. That's something what I do.
But like when I started doing this, I had dreams about doing videos. Like, you know, just kind of whenever you're starting something new, I think your brain kind of
Yeah.
is focused on it. But yeah, every once in a while she'll talk in her sleep. It's hilarious. And then she went to her annual checkup like 2 weeks ago, and getting blood work done, talking about everything, whatever. And the doctor goes, "Do you snore?" And she's like, "I don't know." And she was recounting the story to me, and I was like, "There are times,
Yeah,
like
I
you for sure, like you don't do it all the time. Like I'm a heavy guy, and I'm a lot heavier than my body should be. So I'm pretty sure I've got sleep apnea. And from what I've heard from other people in the family, it's kind of bad. Well, especially, dude, last year I was like 260, 270. And I was just like, I was out here in the gym every freaking day. I was just cranking out. And I was keeping my weight really high. And I guess her kid was out there we were watching movies, and I fell asleep one night on the couch, just cranked, reclined or whatever, but out. I wake up a few hours later, and he goes, "Dude, you scared the shit out of me." I was like, "Why?" He was like, "You stopped breathing like 5 times. You just stopped." He goes, and then you'd go,
and then you'd keep
and then you go
sleeping.
right, and then
Yeah.
go right back, and then but he goes, "But you never woke up." He goes, "But I dude, I stopped the movie and was just like waiting for you to breathe again because you it's like you've been underwater for 4 minutes and then you just come up going,
Dude, you
and
remember
then
my
you go
dad?
back to sleep. Yeah, dude, I just never thought I'd be that guy.
Dude, my dad would and I know this sounds excessive, but we lived in a mobile home, so it was very thin walls.
It was a
very small.
big mobile home.
It was a big mobile home, but it was a mobile home. It was not
Yeah, thin
built
walls.
to the standards of like a house.
Of, like, yeah.
And their headboard was right up against the wall that it fell off of. But he literally snored so loud he knocked pictures off the wall one night, and it freaked everybody out. But he would fall asleep on the couch.
Oh, dude, yeah, and he had a recliner.
Yeah, couch, bedroom for my wall, a couple feet back from it, or wall to my bedroom. Sorry.
Yeah, it was like 5 feet because
Yeah.
the two of us could go back there, sit side by side, and play video games.
Yeah.
because we had the old TV right behind
So
it.
yeah, so a couple feet,
Yeah.
but and then bedroom
then your
wall,
wall.
and then my
And
bed
that,
was on
and
the
that
other
was
side.
the wall that your bed was on.
He would wake me up
Yeah.
if I was sleeping. He fell asleep on the couch. He would wake me up. That's how loud he was. He was
Fortunately,
terrible.
I'm not that loud because I've even heard videos now because my wife's a funny fucker. But I've never seen one with me stop breathing, but it wouldn't be hard to see. I've got cameras. So cameras all over the inside and outside my house. And one of them is staring right at the damn couch. So if I wanted to hear myself die 4 times a night or whatever. So she's like, you need to get checked. I'm like, then I'm going to get a CPAP. Then that's going to be loud. Like,
yeah.
you're just trading in one problem for another. I would get better sleep for sure. But like lately I've just been scaling down my weight. Like I've lost 20 pounds this year.
Yeah.
So I'm down to 240 instead of I've been around 260 for a while. And most of it, like, I mean, I pretty much stopped vaping because I stopped smoking forever ago. So I didn't start vaping just to be a douchebag. I quit smoking cigarettes because of vaping. And now I've staged that back by like probably 70%.
Dude, I like flavors, and that's why I
Yeah, they taste
that's
good.
what they tasted so good. That's because it's not candy. And, so, and I can only eat so much candy before I get all jacked up. So that's where I
Well,
downfall.
and the problem is both of us have the same issue with blood sugar.
Yeah.
We're both what you call it, hypoglycemic.
I am mildly, but I am.
Yeah, I'm hypoglycemic. So like if I go too long without like enough carbs, dude, I just tunnel vision, like feel like I'm about to pass out sometimes. Yeah, and then I have to like mow down, and then I eat everything.
Yep. And then
Like-
it's even worse for you. 'Cause you go, dude, I know.
So
But I used to eat candy like high school. We eat like
Oh, yeah,
bags of candy. Like you find the biggest thing of Nerd Rope dots, and I would eat that in a
dude,
sitting.
remember hoofing nerd ropes to each other back and forth in English class?
Yeah, remember gummy bears in the
Yeah, dude.
the cafeteria?
Yeah, we still
we-
hold the longest shot. It was like 45 feet.
Yeah.
We started off, we were tossing gummy bears to each other and catching them. And then all the girls thought it was fun, so we started showing off. And with each gummy bear, would step farther and farther apart until he threw one that was no joke. I was about 35 feet away, and I caught it. And like we were like, I don't know, 8 tables away from each other,
Dude,
most of the cafeteria away.
And we missed a couple times, but
Yeah,
we did
but
pretty good.
generally we didn't miss. For being skinny dudes, we were fat kids early on.
Dude, we ate so much candy then.
Yeah, it
When
was
I
stupid.
worked at Lowe's, literally like half of my paycheck went into the vending machine for candy because like I didn't eat lunch. I would just work through lunch because then I'd get paid, and so I would just carry candy around in my pocket and just eat candy all day. That's all I did.
It's like my kid now, Daniel, does that.
Yeah.
He'll walk in and he'll just go to shake your hand, and it'll be like Fun Dip or a little bag of Skittles or something. He's always doing like little drug handoffs with
funny.
candy. Like I've got Fun Dip in here up by my toolbox
Because of him.
because of him. He just came in one night and he was like, "What's up, Dad?" I was doing a video. He was like, "What's up, Dad?" And then walked out.
That's funny. I like it.
But yeah, dude, like I eat candy, like I go through spurts, and it pisses my wife off to some degree because like right now she was just pointing. When we came home, I love fruits,
Yeah.
so I had a can of pears, sliced pears. And because she was like, "Hey, you hungry?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I walked into the pantry and I was like, "That's the first thing I saw." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds so good right now."
Yeah,
So
I
I
used to
just-
eat pears and cottage cheese like a madman. I know you're not a huge fan of cottage cheese.
I like cottage cheese.
but
I'm
I loved
more
it on it.
selective of what I eat it with. Like I love eating it with chips,
Yeah.
just like dip. But yeah, I just saw those pears and I was like, yeah. And I grabbed that and she's like, there's like we got fruit cocktail because I love cherries, and everyone keeps telling me how cherry juice is good for this right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but I already got the pears.
Yeah.
Like, and the pears just, I saw that. And like, it's not like I don't always do that where I see something and go, yep, that's exactly what I was after. Today it was that way.
That's fun.
So I just sat there eating pears.
I gotta sneeze, sir.
But
Thank you, sir.
so like on occasion, like we'll go to the store or whatever, or we shop once a week, and occasionally we'll go down the candy aisle and I'll see something. I'm like, I'm in the mood for that. But when you're at a big box store, it's always big surplus amount of that thing. So like I love Jelly Bellies. So I bought a big bag of it. Well, I still have like a third of the bag or whatever. And she's like, you still have these? And then I've got some,
But you may not be in the mood for it anymore. That's my problem.
yeah. So, and then there's these Tajin gummy bears. Oh, so freaking good. But it's a giant bag. So you'll mow down for a couple of days and then you go,
I'm out.
I'm kind of burned out. So I've got a couple of these things and she's like, what the hell? So like same thing. She packs my lunch and my breakfast every day, and she'll throw in a little bit of everything because I'm a grazer. I just graze all freaking day. So I don't ever take lunch. Like I grab half my sandwich and I eat it as I'm grabbing tools out of my truck or whatever. And then later on I'll either not be hungry or I'll sit down and finish the other sandwich. But it's like 3 minutes of eating.
Yeah, but
Just
you also have like
sandwich.
long walks on some of these jobs. Like
Exactly.
I remember when we ate the sandwiches from when I brought you sandwich, you and the guys sandwiches on the job.
Yeah.
Literally, I ate half of mine while we were just getting inside.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
was-
Some of those properties, I mean, you're walking football fields.
Yeah.
And that's just to like get to where you're going, realize you forget a tool and you have to walk all the way back.
Yep.
I mean, there are days, dude, where my watch, like I triple my counter.
Dude.
And I've got it set for 10,000 steps a day. Like there are times where I've hit 30, 40, 50,000 steps in a day.
Oh yeah, dude. When I worked at Cars, I think the least amount I'd have was like 20,000.
I
But
believe
that's,
it.
That's because all of our cars were so spread out, and it was such a big lot.
Well, and you're having
So-
to go like to this guy and then go to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
When you're making a deal, it's still walking.
Yep.
Like when I worked at the dealership, I mean, I worked multiple facilities.
Yeah.
And I was the only maintenance guy. So I was all over. Now I would drive my service truck like from one dealer to the other.
But you'd walk around the dealer.
But then
all
I'm
that.
walking and then I'm on a roof and I'm doing this and doing that. So I was putting in steps, but I didn't have money for a fancy watch back then. So I just knew every day I was putting in my steps.
Well, the only reason I had money for a fancy watch in the beginning was because they hooked me up with all the cars sales for the dealership. So I got all those points. So I just bought it with points. That's what that one was.
And then I bought this one secondhand. And this is what this is over 5 years now.
I've been
How long have you and
I've-
Jackie been married?
at 7.
So this is 6 years.
7 years tomorrow.
Yeah. I knew, well, and that's why I asked. I was like, tomorrow's your anniversary. How many years ago was that? I bought this right after we got back from that. Because I bought the snowboard and then I bought this from you. Because you were like, hey, I never wear it. And I was like, because my other one died.
I was just gonna give you the black one that I had.
That you said it died
But
on
it
you.
literally, you charge it and it lasted. I take it off the charger in 30 seconds, it'd be dead. So
That sucks.
Jackie actually just bought me this
Yeah,
one
I
for
saw
our
you were
anniversary.
wearing a fancy
but it's not. It's literally, it's not a cheap one.
It's a
But
Temu.
It's literally just like it's just a health
What brand is it?
I don't even know. I have no idea. It's not a cheap one though, but like it literally just the only thing I cared about was steps. If so I can see who calls and who texts, and that's it. I didn't want anything else because it's too much. That did way more than I ever knew.
Oh
How
yeah,
to do.
dude. This
I have no
this thing does so much. My biggest thing though is I always need to know, like, date, time.
Yep.
Like in it because I mean I do so much freaking paperwork, and then I like to have the weather and then like texts, emails, things like that. I like to be able to just go because I can't always grab my phone. Like half the time I'm wearing gloves, holding tools, doing things. I can't grab my so it's just easier to go. Oh, okay.
Half the
Text
reason
my
I
wife
got
back.
this was because when we're here, I wanted to be able to see who was texting or calling, so that way I didn't have to pull out my phone
Yeah.
constantly.
And that's
Yep.
why mine's just sitting here. But right now, as you see, she'll just come running out and yell at me.
You can either keep going or pause, but I need to use the restroom.
All right, yeah, we can pause.
So I didn't know what would be best.
Yeah, we can pause. It's a good time, and someone's coming out here right now anyway with little feet. Alrighty. Thanks for hanging out. Tucson, Edizonia. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
That's part of Richter. Later.